There's an interesting article in the BBC. Before I share this story with you, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. In 2000, either 2001, either late 2001 or early 2002. No, it had to be 2001. It was in the spring of 2001. George W. Bush was president. The United States, Europe, and Russia were all having a heroin problem. And the heroin was all coming from opium poppies being grown in Afghanistan. So George W. Bush went to the Taliban and said, we will give you, my recollection is it was $20 or $40 million. It was not a great deal of money. I don't think it was even $100 million. We will give you X millions. Now, keep in mind, Afghanistan was the second poorest country on earth. The average annual income in Afghanistan was less than $700 a year. Second poorest country on earth. And the world's largest supplier of raw opium for heroin. It was their principal export. So Bush goes to the Taliban and says, we'll give you this money if you'll burn the poppy fields. And pass the money out to the warlords and whatnot and, just say, we're basically buying your opium before it's produced. So just burn it. And they did. The Taliban took the money and they kept their word. And the worldwide supply of heroin plunged, and therefore the price of heroin exploded in late 2001 and throughout 2002. But the other thing that happened in 2001 was 9/11, and what happened toward the end of 2000, or what happened in early 2002, as I recall, is that Bush started bombing Afghanistan. Remember that? Well, as soon as he started bombing Afghanistan, they started growing opium poppies again. I mean, you got to feed your family. And these are farmers who've been growing opium poppies for 5,000 years. So here comes this story on the BBC, and it's being spun by folks like at the CDC as the reason for this is there's too much hillbilly heroin out there. There's too much oxycodone out there. People are getting hooked on painkillers. Doctors need to stop writing the prescriptions because once they get addicted to these narcotics, they then move to heroin because heroin's cheaper. The first paragraph, the first sentence of the article is also the first paragraph. It says the number of heroin users rose by 63%. Heroin use in the U.S. has surged in the last decade. The number of heroin users rose by 63% between 2002 and 2013, according to the CDC. 63% increase in heroin use. Why? Well, in my opinion, the reason why is because they're growing opium poppies again like crazy, like there's no tomorrow in Afghanistan. Because once we bombed their country and once we kind of took it over and all this kind of stuff, we stopped the program to prevent them from growing opium. There's all kinds of heroin out there. All kinds of it.